Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. It actually literally helps us grow, as does liking this video and leaving a comment. Most of the Week 1 games are in the books. My job here on a Monday is to give you a few quick thoughts I think will affect fantasy leagues going forward, and specifically to show you stuff on film that you might not otherwise learn from the box score. I will talk about every game from Week 1 on my podcast, the Harris Football Podcast. It's what I do. I watch every single game. But for right now, let's talk about 3 big Week 1 takeaways. Sammy Watkins had himself a day. 9 catches, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I just want to start by drawing distinctions between what you should be impressed with and what you shouldn't. This touchdown was his second one, and congratulations for having a body and not falling down. There was too much of this kind of nonsense in the Jacksonville secondary. I'm not going to chalk this one up to anything amazing from Sammy Watkins. Almost similarly, I think we can look at his first touchdown, and actually we'll break this one down for a second. Watch Tyreek Hill line up in the backfield, and at the snap, watch him sprint out to the right flat, and watch 2 defenders jump in his direction. A little pump from Pat Mahomes. The center of the field just opens up for a short third down conversion, and then the Jags safety acts as though he's pretty much never been on a football field before, charging blindly toward a ball that has already been caught, and Watkins turns upfield, 64-yard touchdown. You love that Watkins plays with Pat Mahomes, but I don't know, relying on blown coverages to repeat, I feel somewhat skeptical. Or do I? I'm going to be completely honest. I was very impressed by Sammy Watkins in this game. Just not so much those first 2 plays I showed you. Here he's lined up wide right. It's a pretty simple stop route, but look at the Jags try and tackle Sammy Watkins. Who are you, and what have you done with Sammy Watkins? I honestly don't think we saw this kind of want to from him very much last year, which probably had a lot to do with the fact that he was injured. Yeah, those first 2 quote-unquote lucky plays I showed you, that's not actually at all how I feel about Watkins' day. He was a baller. Here he grabs a short little out. It's against some kind of zone coverage. A.J. Boye should be able to just run up and make a tackle. Not only does he not make a tackle, he does not lay a glove on Sammy Watkins. A little dump off in the 2-minute drill. If we stir the echoes and remember Watkins' best moments in Buffalo, this is what it was like. He was actually a legit terror. He won't let himself be tackled. He's making guys miss. He's tough. This is great. And this is a little short gain, but I still like it because of how physical Watkins is against Jalen Ramsey, going down, catching it in tight quarters. We know Sammy Watkins is fast, but Sunday, he really showed a complete game. And the lead that I'm burying here, of course, is that Tyreek Hill hurt his shoulder and is expected to miss multiple games, which I think the paint-by-number depth chart crowd would already tell you, man, it's Pat Mahomes. Of course, Sammy Watkins is a wide receiver 1 right now. I'm here to say this was so impressive that if Watkins stays healthy, it's a big if, but if he can be more than just a wide receiver 1 fill-in. The Chiefs could actually produce 2 very, very fantasy-relevant wide receivers if this is Sammy Watkins in 2019. Quick break to thank Mott Bow, the makers of my favorite jeans in the world. They are designer jeans that don't come with a designer price because Mott Bow sells them direct to you without the retail markup. I used to not care very much about designer jeans. I would just buy whatever was cheap at the department store. Then I got my first pair of Mott Bows, and they were soft right out of the box. They fit amazing with no breaking in, and they last. Mott Bow has been sponsoring our podcast for 4+ years. I still have pairs that are that old, and they still look great and feel great. They just last so much longer. And right now, click the link in the notes, and I can get you 15% off your first order. You will love them. Mott Bow guarantees it. Okay, we're back at it. The number 1 quarterback in fantasy right now, of course it's Lamar Jackson. 5 touchdowns, 324 yards passing. What did I say on this very channel last month? That Jackson has a lot to prove accuracy-wise as a thrower and that the running will be there? Well, in a laugher over the Dolphins on Sunday, the running didn't have to be there, and Jackson threw those 5 touchdowns on only 20 attempts. So how much of this was Jackson and how much was the Dolphins? So I'm just going to take a sampling from the 20 attempts. Guess what? They're all going to go pretty well, most of them anyway. This is a touchdown to rookie Hollywood Brown, not a high degree of difficulty throw, and to be honest, last year it felt like the more horizontal the window you provided Lamar Jackson, the more accurate he'd be. The defensive back, Eric Rowe, takes a chance. He misses. There's no one in the middle. This does not qualify as a tight window, but Jackson hits it, and he starts building up a big lead. 4 minutes later, in game clock time, very next Jackson throw, the Dolphins rush 3 on a third down because they are spying the living heck out of Lamar Jackson. They are terrified he'll run on them, and instead he pats the ball and stands there and heaves it all the way downfield, and it's Hollywood Brown again. He's real fast, and his name's going to get mentioned in some waiver wire segments this week. And again, this isn't a high degree of difficulty throw, but it's definitely one I saw Jackson miss on occasion last year. What's happening here is, A, the Dolphins are really bad, yes. And also, B, the Ravens have a huge lead. But also, C, on this throw, there's not a lot of touch required. It's not a lot of impediments that he has to navigate between himself and his target. Mark Andrews thinks this one is for him, but once again, it's for Brown. Here's another bomb against subpar defense. It's Willie Snead, dude. You can't get beat deep here. It's pure man coverage on the back end, and that's not an electric move to the post, but it gets Snead open by 3 yards. Full marks, again, for making the throw, but we're not really presenting Jackson with any complicated reads or throws here. And by this point, the Ravens are just messing around. My point here isn't to take away from Jackson's day or to take away from the fun you had if you started him. It's to question if there really are lessons to be drawn from Jackson being allowed to just stand there and pat the ball and pick out targets who then get to run wild. No demerits for this miss. Could have been another long touchdown. Honestly, Lamar Jackson could have thrown 20 touchdowns on his 20 attempts. That would have been some kind of record or something. So I'm not ready to make Lamar Jackson a no-brainer top 10 QB on the basis of this. He did well. Very well. He wasn't pressed, but he did well. The Dolphins chose to make Jackson beat them with his arm, but they did it in a very unimpressive manner. Then again, schedule watchers have been pointing to the Ravens having Dolphins, Cardinals, Chiefs as a 3-game beginning to the season. I get it. If Jackson can do this again next week, even though Arizona, not a very good team, I may have to start considering the preponderance of the evidence in his favor. Thirdly, today, let's talk Austin Ekeler, who won Week 1 in overtime with this carry, sort of a typical pinballing effort for him. And if Melvin Gordon was hoping to see the Chargers' backfield struggle without him, he's disappointed today. He should probably run, not walk, to get back in Chargers camp, lest his team forget he exists. This was Ekeler's first score of the 3 he had against the Colts. It actually came one play after Keenan Allen got an inside handoff that was actually kind of a pop pass, and Allen was stopped just at the 1 leading to this touchdown for Ekeler. No demerit here. Half of life is just showing up. The Colts were fooled. It's an easy score. And here, Ekeler's doing his speedy Ekeler thing, crashing through a big hole, except, oh wait, I fooled you. It was Justin Jackson on this play. He kind of limped off a little bit after this one, but he was fine, and he played a fair amount thereafter. The truth is, though, it was a big split between the two guys. Ekeler played 44 snaps to Jackson's 15. They are similar. Yes, I still think that they're very similar, but this week there was no arguing. Ekeler had the vastly more valuable role and did a lot with it, and that's really the big takeaway. Here's Ekeler's 55-yard touchdown where the blocking is good and the tackling is not good. Number 35 there, Pierre Desir, I guess you're a cover guy, didn't really want to make a tackle there, and this is the fun and magic of Ekeler. I imagine there are times when the sledding does get tougher and he can't have unlimited dump-off screens in space to get him going, which is why, in general, I still prefer Melvin Gordon. But when he gets a power play blocked up like this and can just cruise through the giant hole there in the defensive line, Ekeler is good. Now remember, this was supposed to be a day the Chargers' O-line was injured and a mess. They kind of pushed Indy around a lot of the day. Week 2 against the Lions, hard not to see Ekeler as a mighty fine flex in a lot of situations, unless Melly Gordon comes to his senses. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on all the games from Week 1, only way to hear that, gotta listen to the Harris Football Podcast, which you can find basically anywhere there are podcasts, and let us know what you think down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.